Alright, hi guys. So today I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with the blooms. It's spring, so we have blooms from really good, nice Echeverias. I'm not going to bother with the little tiny ones because they take so long to propagate, but it's going to be, this is going to be propagation of blooms. And again, it's spring, so hopefully by fall or winter, they're big enough so that they could be just watered right on a regular basis. I have the Echeveria Hawaii right here. I got a pretty good chunk of blooms. They bloomed really nicely. And then the Echeveria Fulgens, which, you know what, if you look at it, they look almost exactly alike, but they're not the same. So these are the Fulgens. These are the Hawaii. Then you have the, I think this is either the Chroma or another type, but I can't remember. If I'm mistaken, I will just re-tag it. And then I have the Mauna Loa, which this one I believe will be able to just live on its own, but it's gonna stay like this, okay? I don't know how they're gonna propagate this way. I mean, I could just remove the leaves and set them down, but I don't know. I think I like it like this anyway. So again, I have these containers, but I want to talk about the soil first. Since this is just going to be propagation, not really that concerned about, you know, putting a lot of rocks and stuff. But what I do before I get any of these close to my plants is to make sure that this soil right here that I just bought from Home Depot, or my daughter just generously bought it for me, I should say. Gotta give credit where credit is due, right? Okay, I don't know where the soil came from. I don't know what's in the soil, how they, you know, how they got this soil together. So I really don't trust it. And for to begin, and you know, I just want everything that goes in here to be free from any kind of insect eggs, any aphids or any mealybugs that are living in there right now, or any other kind of bugs, you know, because you don't want to start your soil already like straight from the box stores, because we know about box stores, right? Even their plants, they don't really take care of, they don't really have the knowledge. Big box stores like Home Depot, even though it is the label is Miracle Grow, you still don't know how they manufacture it. I don't know, you know, if they set it so that the heat will kill anything that's in there. But I have seen soil that where there's like, you know, seed pods growing like weeds and stuff like that, and you know, I don't want that in my soil. So, but the most important thing that I don't want in my soil is mealybugs. And I don't know if these have mealybugs eggs or not. However, that's what I'm going to start with. I'm going to start with putting pumice. This is pumice right here. And that's going to hold a little bit of moisture, especially like if you're using a terracotta pot where the moisture just evaporates really quickly because of the porous nature of the product. And I have the pebbles, the aquarium pebbles. The pumice, if you put too much pumice in it, it will not hold the plant, you know, sturdy. So I'm just going to mix that up together. I'm not going to put any fertilizer in there yet, like my worm casting, because I trust my worm casting. I know where it came from, and it does have some bugs in it, but the bugs that are in it are they're just helpful in breaking down, you know, the food products that go in there. And so I'm gonna mix it up like this. I don't know if I should put some sand in it. Usually sand just like gets to the bottom and it just settles in the bottom. So by the end of planting, when this container is all gone, the sand just like stays in the bottom. So I don't know if that's really beneficial for me, but a lot of people swear by it. I'm not really concerned about it, but however, with my Koreans, because I don't know where they came from, they're pretty hardy, they're pretty, you know, sturdy, but because I don't know where they came from, I added some sand to it to make it less soily but more rocky and sandy. So here's some really fine rocks, and I'm just gonna throw that in there just to add. So I mean, this is one that I bought from the dollar store, so I'm not really, what I'm trying to conserve on are the ones that I got from the pet store, the aquarium store, because those are expensive. They're like $5 per bag. So okay, now I am ready to do my next step. My next step is to totally quarantine this. By quarantine, I mean put pesticide on it, my organic pesticide. I'll put a link on the description for you guys, because this particular product really works for me. They don't, but because this really worked for me, and I'm so diligent about spraying. I put an alarm on my phone to tell me every 2 weeks to spray my whole garden with this stuff. And right now, in the beginning, I was using two gallons of this stuff, and you know, 2 gallons of the mixture, and it's 1 ounce for each gallon, which is really conservative. It's about the bottle's about this big. It's very small, but I got at least the whole winter, the whole spring, and I just bought a new bottle. And I just mixed the second bottle that I purchased, and I got a gallon and a half yesterday, and that did everything, my whole entire garden. I mean, of course I didn't spray the grass or anything like that, because mealybugs don't really go there, but they really love to suck on my succulents. And so far, okay, this season, which is the mealybug season, I've only seen 2 plants with mealybugs. 2. That's a huge progress for me. Now that that's mixed up, I'm going to spray it with my pesticide. So, and I just mixed a gallon because I think I'm gonna spray the rest of my garden in the back, where, you know, there's the Ioniums are so huge, and they just pretty much, they're so tall that I don't know if I hit every single corner of it. But why am I not getting anything? Okay, here we go. So yeah, that's it. That's all you gotta do. Okay, after I do this, I'm just gonna let it sit for a minute, because this is organic. It's not gonna bother like the bees and, you know, all the other beneficial like the ladybugs and stuff. Unless you spray the bee directly, of course it's going to die. Anywho, so yeah, that's all I gotta do, right? I'm pretty confident that this will kill anything that's alive. Anything that's like any eggs, anything that's alive in there will die. Not anything, but mealybugs at least. So this is pretty wet because it was outside. The whole bag was outside in the rain, and I like it because then I don't have to water the plants or the leaves right away, and I can spritz it and they'll still have a little bit of moisture. Okay, after I do this, and if I start using, because right now I'm going to concentrate on the babies, on the leaves, to propagate, but after this I'm going to add more rocks, more pebbles, more all that, you know, so that I can use it for regular pots that I'm going to replant, because some of my succulents are getting too big for their britches, for their pots. Okay, so I mixed it up like this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit it again. Make sure I'm getting every inch of it covered. I'll show you the bottle of the pesticide. I've shown it before, but you know, it's always good to not have you guys go back to any of the videos unless you want to. I hope you do. To have to find this product, but it really works, and I'm really satisfied. I'm really impressed, because none of the other ones worked. None of the alcohols. Alcohol is only good for when you already see the mealybug and you want to kill it. The alcohol works perfectly, but for prevention, forget about it. Oh my gosh, you're gonna spend so much on alcohol, and then the alcohol doesn't even, you know, kill anything that might be growing. I don't know, but then alcohol is really harsh on the plants too, because you never know. Some plants are really sensitive to coldness. You know how alcohol, when you apply it, it's cold, and then it gets, you know, room temperature again, back to room temperature, but you know, it's that original freeze that can shock your plant. That's why they said, and then plus you can't really do this, you can't really do the alcohol spray on everything, you know, because it just evaporates right away. This stuff right here, even though it only works one day, which is kind of the disappointing part of it. Okay, so this stuff right here is only potent for one day. That's what they've said to me, but sometimes when I go out to my garden like 3 days later, it still smells like the stuff. So I don't know if really that's true, like it's only potent for one day, but I have to believe them because they're the ones that created it. But you know, I feel like it does last more than one day. But yeah, the difference that I've seen from last year, that where I didn't do anything at all because I didn't know anything yet, you know, especially people that have such a big collection and you spend so much money on it, you know, you don't want your plants to die. Okay, so here I labeled this, and I'm going to talk about labeling a little bit also. I labeled, this is the best label system that I've found to be the most effective, because I've used paper labels, you know, I don't know what other people use that is like, it looks like it's, when they write it, it looks like it's pencil. It's written in pencil. I don't know if I can try. Let me see if I can write it in pencil, if it's not going to, because if it, see, I can't, it doesn't even work. So they have a special lead pencil that they use so that the labels don't get erased like in the rain and stuff like that. But even if I did this on the popsicle sticks that I used to do, and I engrave it like with this engraver, you know, I use this engraver to engrave the popsicle sticks, and then I put Sharpie on top of it. It doesn't work because it just gets erased. The popsicle stick like deteriorates. So this, I think this will work because I have used this. I used to use this with just the marker, and again that gets erased. So I don't know what the plant is anymore. So this I believe will work because this is engraved, and then I put Sharpie on top of it. But even if the Sharpie ink washes away, I can still go under the sun and see what it is, okay? Or I could just go like this with colored pencil and then see what what the word is. Okay, so now that I have this, I need to put some worm casting fertilizer. So here's 1 scoop. I tell you what, this worm casting is like the bomb. So that's how much I'm going to put in there. Not going to put too much because it doesn't need a lot. But this worm casting is like, wow. Black gold, baby, black gold. So just mix it all up. Make sure you mix it. Again, the worm casting will be okay with that pesticide stuff because it's organic. So it's not gonna bother the potency of the worm casting. Oh, this allergy is it's not as bad as past years, but you know, because we had so much rain, like all the things that burnt down, it's now growing and flowering. Thank you, Napa. Appreciate it. Okay, so I'm just giving it halfway, okay? So this is going to be the Fulgens, however you want to pronounce it. Who knows? Who knows where people get the names? Okay. So there we go. And again, there. See it? Okay, so I'm going to move stuff. Let's see. This is the Fulgens. So what I'm going to do, again, I showing you guys how to do this. Really slowly. Just move it back and forth like this. Slow. There we go. Clean as a whistle. Clean cut there. So I'm just going to lay it all down. Another clean one. So I'm just gonna do this. And I'm not going to, you know, spread them out too much because I know that Echeverias actually bloom maybe a couple times. So if I get some more blooms, I'm just gonna get the biggest leaves from this and then throw away the rest. I throw away the rest because really it's not worth it when you propagate the little tiny ones. It takes forever, guys, forever. There. Throw away. Sorry. I know you guys are probably cringing, some of you. I think this might be. No, No, that's the Fulgens. I don't know if the Hawaii and the Fulgens are the same thing, actually. Just look, maybe not. They're kind of almost exactly the same, but I know I took this out of the Hawaii. I know it for a fact, because Hawaii is in the back, and the Fulgens is in the front. So just the bigger ones. This is kind of a medium size one. It's okay. All right, there you go. This is done, labeled. Because I'm making the video, I don't really need to know when I started, but today is May 24th. Just for the record. Okay, so that's one. And the last thing I'm gonna do is to spritz it with water. Even though the soil has some moisture in it, I still want to hit it with the water just to get it started. Then I'm gonna cover it with the plastic, clear plastic cover that goes with it. And then I'm gonna do the rest. I'm not gonna show you every single one because they're all gonna be the same. So I'm gonna show you at the end how I did it, how I did everything, and where I'm going to put them. Okay? Okay, so I have the cover. And also I wanted to mention that this label right here, this I bought from Daiso, and it comes in a package like this. It's $1.50. There's a lot of them, 40. Anywho, what I did was I used my tool, my heating tool again, this engraver that I have, to punch a hole on the side, because I used to use the paper labels on the lids, but or on the side of the thing, but sometimes when I water it, you know, it just deteriorates and then I don't know what it is. So I'm, you know, it's just trial and error sometimes, guys. Do what works. Make use of what works, because you know, it's really important that you know what it is so that you know how to take care of it. And then if you have like big plants and stuff like that you propagated and you wanted to sell them or you wanted to give them away, it's good to have the name so that whoever buys it, whoever you give it to, will know how to take care of the plant. Okay, now I want to talk about containers. This container, as you can see, came from the Habit Burger. I love their veggie burgers, and me and my husband always go to Habit Burger after we come from the gym on Saturdays. So I said, okay, this is perfect, because not only does it have this black bottom which holds the heat, and with the heat and the moisture, it recreates where these plants are from, like the desert, right? So if you have the sunshine, or if you don't have the sunshine but you have the UV rays, the UV rays will heat up this bottom black, and so you have the heat and the moisture that's encased in there, and it's like it becomes an incubator for these babies. Just think, incubators, babies, you know, they thrive. So that's why this is the perfect condition for their growth. You know, it grows really slow, but when some of the plants grow really slow, and then you have to really be patient with them, because now, like, if you don't have a cover, the soil will get all dry, but with this, it stays moist in there, even though underneath I put holes. Again, I poked holes. I'll show you. Okay, I will poke holes on this one because this one did not have holes. That's probably why it's empty right now, but see how I can just poke holes really quickly with this thing. Oh no, there are holes. Duh. Okay, but anyway, I put more holes. So you put holes in there because you can really like dunk this in like a little bath of water, maybe an inch, and then water it that way, or you can take off the lid and just spritz it. But I think like you have to kind of water it pretty good because not only is the water going to escape underneath, but you have this dome right here that it'll grow, and plus it has enough space for when it grows bigger, you know, it's not gonna touch the top because these are Echeverias. If you have like, I don't know, auroras or what have you, after they get really tall, you know, you have to take the lid off and then have to water them a lot. So I use this Habit Burger containers. Yeah, these one have holes too. And mind you, these have channels underneath. So when you're watering it, it doesn't go here. I mean, I poked holes there just in case, but the channel right here is where the water will be collected. So if you water, this is where it's going to escape. So that's where you want to put your holes. And not too much because then it's going to collapse. So I just put one in each corner there. And then here, this one has holes that I just did. And then these ones also have holes. Okay? And this one does not have holes. But I will put holes in there. So this is one of those to-go containers as well for a very fancy restaurant sometimes on holidays or anniversaries. However, here's another one. Here's another one that you may not think about as perfect, okay? But I was looking at it this today because it's empty. The Swiffer container. Look how big that is. That is for if you have so many babies to propagate. You can put them all in here. This has a lot of space to it. And again, it has channels, guys. These are like dips. Okay, so that's where you're going to put your holes. That's where it's going to collect. I would put them on the corners just because that's, if you fill this up with water, if you fill it up, you know, just a little bit of water, that's where it's collecting. You can see that's where the beads of water. And then look at the top. It's just the perfect, it's not black though, even though it's not black, it doesn't matter. But you know, this can go like closer to the sun or something. I don't know. I think it'll work. But look at the top. Very clear. The sun will shine there. It's perfect. It's pretty wide and shallow. So you fill it up halfway, and then your plants can stay there really until they get bigger, depending on how many plants you put in there. But I'm gonna put all my Hawaii in this container because the Hawaii, I have a lot. Anywho, another thing is you can also use this as a temporary planter because it's big enough, it's wide enough, so you can fit at least 6 Echeverias in there. Really cool. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and show you. I'm going to put the holes in the corners, maybe here and here. But look how fast this thing, it's smoky. Smoky, smoky, smoky. Yeah, just don't inhale the fumes. Go away, fumes. So yeah. And it smells good because it's Swiffer Wet Jet. So don't throw away your containers like this. Okay, because this is perfect. Swiffer containers, everybody has them. So I'm gonna put this aside. Then later on, I'm gonna talk about what location, because this is the question that I get a lot. Like, I put it on the windowsill. That's fine as long as it doesn't get direct sunlight. Because it will burn your leaves even though you're spritzing it, especially when you spritz it, because the water and then the heat and then like the glass of the window generates more heat. So I would put it outside under maybe a tree, or if you have like a patio, put it in the patio where it's covered but you get a little bit of indirect sunlight. It's bright. Only for a minute though, like until it becomes a mature plant, then you can take it out. But when you do that, you have to do it a little bit at a time. Don't shock your plant to take them out right away, because it will kill your plant, guaranteed. So what I do is, after they become like the little pups that you get out of the mothers, when they get to be little pups like this, I take them out for an hour in sort of direct sunlight, not totally direct sunlight, like in the heat, of the afternoon. Don't do that. Do it in the morning for an hour. Then take it, put it back. All you have to do is really tell Siri, hey, set an alarm for an hour from now. If it's 9:30, 10:30, set the alarm at 10:30, and then 10:30 your alarm will go off. Go back out there, take your plant, take your container, put it back under indirect sunlight or shade, and then the next day increase it, like maybe an hour and a half, and then the next day another 2 hours, and then until it gets used to where you want it to be, like the direct where you want it to go, what location you want it to go in your garden. That's where you're gonna put it, okay? Because you're gonna know. So this is where I want the Echeveria to go, the Echeveria Pulidonis to go, and you're gonna put it where you want it, and then you're gonna check to see if this plant like this location. If it's a direct sunlight, and you have the Hawaii loves the direct sunlight. However, maybe you have I don't know what doesn't like the direct sunlight. The really thin leaved Echeverias don't like direct sunlight. They just don't like it. They die. And then sometimes though, like if you put it in ground, it will try to recover for maybe 2 seasons. And then once the rains come and the cold comes, this, I'm talking about California. I'm not talking about anywhere else, because I don't know anywhere else. You'll have to, if you have a lot of leaves, I would just experiment. Just if they become bigger, just take 2, put it somewhere, 2, put it somewhere, 2, put it somewhere, or 1, put it somewhere, and then you can tell like where they're thriving. And then of course you're gonna have to protect them in the wintertime when it rains and the cold and stuff, like just like I do. Oh my gosh, I spent so much time just going out there, and because I love my plants. Not everybody does. Like some people, they just buy the plants for the beauty, and then if they die, oh well, whatever. But I love my plants, and when I love something, I take care of it. You nurture it just like kids, and parents, you nurture, develop a relationship. So it's just like plants. Plants are living things. Even though they don't move, they don't talk back, they don't say anything, there's still, they live, they're alive. So they will tell you without any words that, hey, I don't like it in this location. I like it better here. I like it better here. So, and then you start learning about the different plants and their personalities, and what they like and what they don't like. And then if you get a plant that's kind of the same origin, where it came from, and you see where it likes it, then you can determine, okay, this is where this plant will thrive. And then you'll have a nice garden. You know, you don't really want your plants to die. And I know I've seen like design gardens and all that stuff. Let the people decide what they want to do. Like if they want to, they just in it for the design, in it for the beauty, you know, how things go together. You can still do that with your plants where you're locating, where they're located. You can still do that. You can still mix and match like colors and textures and stuff like that. But you know, some people, they just do that and then they have enough money next year, they all die and replace it. So yeah, you get to learn where they want to go and then be able to figure out that this is where it likes. So to know like how to sit this on the soil, do you see this cut right here? That cut, this cut right here needs to sit face up. So this cut, you should see this cut because it's face up. This is where the little pup is going to come out of, okay? That's where, or the roots. So yeah, you need to love your plants. You love your plants because they are living things. You know, they grow, they push out pups, they have babies. They have babies, they give you pretty flowers, you know, like this pretty flower. I mean, it's doesn't look exactly like a flower, but yeah, it's fun. It's fun to see them growing. I wouldn't stress too much about if one thing, because all the leaves will not produce, okay? So just accept that. Just accept that and don't take it personally because, oh, I did something wrong. No, not really. You know, it's like they have to do what's best for them and they're gonna do it whether you like it or not. It's out of your control. So, you know, the best that you can do, the best that you can do is fall in love. Ooh, that was terrible. The best that you can do is fall in love. Yeah, so the best that you can do for them is to take care of them the best way you can. I'm getting to the smaller, but yeah, whatever. And then if you have room in your garden, plant them in ground. That's where they're happiest. Because container gardening, yeah, I can see, you know, you can move it inside and outside. For you people who have like extreme weather, that's totally acceptable. But if you're in California, maybe Oregon, maybe Florida, you know, why not plant in ground? That's where they're happiest because they're not constricted. They're not contained, so to speak, you know, in a container. Especially plastic ones, they hate that. Plastic ones, they hate it. When you have plastic containers, you might as well put a worm in there. Just like my gray red Echeveria. I'm like, what the heck? What's going on with this plant? It's just like thriving so much. I'm like, what is up with this plant? So I just kept watering it, kept giving it worm casting, you know, doing what I normally would do. And then it just kept growing, like it was coming out of its shell, trying to come out of its trying to come out of the planter, just being so happy. So after a while, it was getting so big that I'm like, okay, you're probably like root bound and not happy anymore because you're gonna start to die, because it was starting to like get darker, like, because you know gray reds are kind of light colored, not as light as Lowie's, but they're kind of bluish light colored gray, you know. That's why it's called gray red. So so I'm like, what is happening with you? Ooh, did I just do that wrong? See, I did it wrong. There we go. Upside down. I'm like, what's happening with you? And so I took it out. I said, okay, I'll put it in this little mini garden. Took it out. Guess what I found? A red wiggler. And how it got there? I know exactly how it got there. I put worm casting in it, and you know what I'm going to do? Because they grow, and then they grow nice, and then they like to be all scrunched up together. I'm going to face them each other like this. So I said, okay, let me just take you out and put you in the ground. As I was doing that, guess what I found? I found okay, I was telling you about how it got there. Because I threw worm casting in there, and the worm casting still had eggs. Worm eggs. Of course, they're gonna grow. And after I saw the worm, and the worm was pretty mature. It was just happy as can be. And no wonder. It just kept feeding it. So I'm thinking to myself, I think it would be better if I just put a worm in every single container, because now the worm is going to produce casting, and it's just going to keep eating whatever, you know, organic material is in the soil, and then it's feeding my plant without me having to do anything. Oh my gosh, what a world. What a world. Oh, I don't think I have enough room for this. So yeah, contained, because it's contained. So the roots now have nowhere to go except for trying to come out of the planter, which is not a good thing for the plant. That's why it's a good thing to always repot. I know it's a pain in the ass, because it's a pain in my ass, but when I have to repot, I just have to repot, because I don't want anyone to die on me. Because if there's nowhere to go, and there's no big hole in the bottom, you know, especially when it's a plastic planter. I'm trying not to buy any more of those plastic planters, because my plants just don't like them. Then, oh my gosh, I can't talk. So some of these will actually grow, but some will actually not grow. So just accept it. Just accept that this is not perfect. Nothing is perfect in this world. Even though some of us think we're perfect. Not me, by myself, but some people think they're perfect, and they don't accept correction. That's bad. We're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. So if we make mistakes, that's okay. It's just like the plants. They make mistakes. They don't, you know, some of them will grow roots but not a bud. And that's really disconcerting sometimes, because especially when you only have one. when you're when you happen to walk around Home Depot and you see one leaf, oh my gosh, I'm going to propagate that. And then it doesn't have, oh, just like, oh my gosh, now I remember and I want to cry again. My my bluebird. My poor bluebird. Do you know that none of those leaves that I got from the bluebird propagated for me? They did, only one did, and it died. So there. I accepted. That's life. I don't need to hold anybody blame because it's my own fault. Had I had this pesticide when I had my bluebird, it probably wouldn't have happened to it. Nothing would have happened to it. So where do I put this? I think I'm gonna put a hole here. Should I put a hole? Or should I put a hole? Yeah, I have to put a hole here. I hope I can still close the lid with that thing on. Yep, perfect. Yay. So there we go, guys. Echeveria Hawaii. I hope every single one buds, and so I can sell you guys. It's gonna be a while, but you know, the Hawaii is a really, really nice plant. It's beautiful. I have a picture. I'll show it to you, and that's it. This is my Swiffer Wet Jet incubator, and then I have my Habit Burger incubator, and then I'm gonna do the rest to another incubator, and then I will show you where I put it. Okay, I have another one here that has been damaged by not only the rain, but also because of the rain. Some of the leaves and the stem got rotted, rotted a little bit. It was in a terracotta pot, but the terracotta pot was too small for the plant. It just got way so big, you know, but it has survived, and I had to behead that, and these are all the leaves that I got out of it, and I think that these are viable leaves because if you notice, there's already the beginnings of roots. Yeah, see that? That's gonna be, so I am putting in my little incubator right now. I'm just gonna set it there. Most of this mixture is fast draining with the pebbles and sand, and I think there's perlite in there. Not sure. Is it perlite? Anyway, it's fast draining, and I put 4 holes in the bottom, filled it with your mixture, and I'm hoping that all of these are gonna be like her, because look how pretty she is, guys. But I don't think that I have ID for that. But look at the leaves and how the mealybugs have attacked it. So what I did was I looked inside like every leaf to find out if there's any more mealybugs, and there wasn't. I only found 2. This is the only 2 mealybugs that I found so far since I've been spraying. I haven't been seeing anything, and my plants have been like thriving. So I washed it really well, and now I'm just waiting for it to root up, and then I will replant it. I mean, it still has majority of its leaves, and all of these, so 14 hopefully there's gonna be 14 plants. I mentioned that this Echeveria right here, this is the Echeveria Carribean, just pushed out a whole bunch, and this one is already getting, see that red pinkish stuff that's coming out? Those are already pushing out the roots, so I'm going to put this in an incubator as well. But look how pretty and how huge. Here's my hand. See how big that is? See how big? I know, my hands are big. No, but look at, see how big that plant is? And that almost died on me, that little bugger. Almost died on me. And I was able to spray it with my pesticide, my organic pesticide, and now it's just thriving. So this is the spot where the babies are gonna go. These are the old, these are the ones that didn't make it. Dark Moon, Dark Prince. See, it just, so I don't take it personally. It will start and then it'll stop and just dry up. Even though I've been spraying this, spray all the time. This is another one. These ones are actually doing well. So I can replant this. Like, I need to get rid of the mealybugs right there. See, that's the thing. You have these things and then they get mealybugs because the mealybugs love these babies. They just thrive on the babies. Look at all of that. See that? So what to do? Here's my pink moonstones. See this? This is cute. I think that's my bluebird. These 4. So I can repot those. This one, I don't know what's going on here. See? So they just dry up, not do anything. You know, they end up like this. So you really have to make sure that you are watching them. However, look at this. My Lilacenas right here are doing awesome. As a matter of fact, it was a big, huge container. This top right here, it was a big container. Oh, what did I do with it? Anyway, so there was some at the bottom, and those ones that are at the bottom, I planted right here. And look at all of them. They just love it. Okay, so these are really good survivors right here. Then I want to talk about the Paraguayans. Look at all of this. Look at all that. And then this is the mother plant, and these are all from the blooms like this. They shoot out blooms, and then they're tiny leaves, just like the ones I've been showing you. And then these are the babies that I replanted all around. They're all together here. But the Paraguayans, the ghost plants, are so prolific anyway, so I can't brag too much about them. So here's the Colorado. Not Colorado, Colorata. So these are ready to be repotted in a little container. I'll also show you some of the other ones that I've already done. Anyway, this is where the new ones are gonna go. In that bright light location. but not direct sunlight. I also spray these babies with my pesticide because they're the ones that need it the most. This is where, oh, look at this. Look at that attack right there. Look at that attack right there. It's horrible. They're horrible. Horrible, horrible beings. Oh my goodness. I have to spray that one. Spray with alcohol, pretty much. Okay, so I'm finished. This is the Mauna Loa, the Chroma, Mauna Loa. I don't know what those ones are. Then you have the Hawaii, the Carribean, the Fulgens, and that one. I still can't remember that one. I should have labeled it. See, that's why you need to label it. And that's it. That's all I have for propagation so far. I'm going to look around some more in my garden to see which Echeveria. And the only ones that I really want to propagate are the Echeverias, because the rest of them are just good with, you know, just being cuttings and stuff like that. So, yep. Kind of a overcast day. But when the sun hits, it hits on this side, but then this plastic right here will protect them from the direct sunlight, and it's only morning sun, so not too worried about them. If it's on the other side of my garden, we're right here. If it's over there, that's where the sun is all day long, and right here. So I'm going to put the awning back up here to protect this area right here. Let's see how I don't have any more. And then most of them are underneath there, so they don't get too much sun and burn up. That's it. That's it, guys. For now, till the next video, be nice to everyone, and XOXO, guys. Bye.
And as always, if you like this video, please smash the like button, share, comment, and click the subscribe button so you don't miss out.